Hello, guys. Hope everyone is well. I'm just waiting for Chris to arrive. He is around. He has put something in the live chat just over an hour ago. But yeah, he's still not yet arrived on screen, but hopefully he will be here in just a minute or so. But I thought I'd kick off the live thing anyway, so that you guys can get your questions put into the chat, in the comments, or whatever it may be. And it can be as black hat and dirty as you want. Ask the questions that no one else is going to answer. That's the kind of stuff we want to get our teeth stuck into, give us a challenge. And we are on a bunch of different platforms today. I think we're on Facebook, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, that's about it. So we're on those 3 platforms today, so I will keep an eye on the comments from all of those platforms. But yeah, so as I say, ask the questions that you want to ask. The dirtier the better, and we'll try and answer them as honestly as we can. If Chris comes along, that is. We will still be going ahead and, I don't know if Chris has been called away in emergency or anything as honestly as we can. But we will be doing the question and answers regardless. Make sure you get those questions put in there. I see a couple of them coming through already. I'm just going to give it another minute or so to see if I can get a hold of Chris, and if not, we will just crack on with the questions anyway. So I'm just going to give him another quick message. So just sent him another message. Hopefully everything is okay with him, but if not, I will crack on in a minute and just answer these questions. So apologies for the slight delay. I just don't want to really start without Chris, but if he joins us, we can jump in anyway and just get his take on the questions as and when they come. So there is no time like the present. I am going to just dive into the questions. Don't want to bore you guys anymore. So let's dive into the questions. And morning, Craig Mullins. Good to see you here, as always. First question. Kashif, what is the free or cheapest method to set up niche relevant PBNs? There is no method as such that's necessarily going to be the cheapest. I think there is no free way of doing it. There's always going to be a cost to PBNs, whether that's buying a domain name, buying the hosting, paying for content, paying for a developer to knock the website together, or whatever it's going to be. You have to then just source the cheapest place to buy domains, hosting, and whatnot. But just buying an expired domain name is your best way of doing it, and whatever that costs is the cost. There's nothing here to say you have to have premium hosting or rack up a huge bill to build PBNs. You just got to get the most cost-effective solution for you. You can use SiteGround, you can use whatever. All of these are relatively cheap hosting companies, and as I say, the main cost comes down to content, getting the website up there and maintaining it. So there is no real free way of doing that. You can of course look at domains that have expired and try and take the content off there if you go via the Wayback Machine to try and get some free content. So there's loads of little things like that will help. So there you go. And we have Mr. Chris John.
Sorry, brother. My little guy decided right at the second, he's like, Dad, I need to go into the bathroom. I was like, oh, man. It's like, all right, come on, hurry up.
No worries. Good to have you. I just basically kicked on you. You were around anyway. Saw your comment on the live chat earlier. So I just kicked off, let people come in and get the questions flowing in. So I answered one question here. What is the free or cheapest method to set up a niche relevant PBN? Which I just said there is no
Free.
Free way of doing it. There's always a cost to everything. Even if you want the cheapest PB in the world, it's still going to cost you. So, yeah, that's as far as we got, Chris. But good to see you, man. Good to have you back. So we've got the man here now, everyone.
Is that the Knicks hat?
What was that?
Is that a Knicks hat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anyone who's watching, I don't actually support Knicks as such. But in the UK, they offer us probably 2 or 3 different variations of basketball tops and stuff like that. And the Knicks is one of them. And I just like the colour and stuff. So I'm not some obsessive Knicks fan. I just like it, yeah. And I've got the basketball top and stuff as well. So all good. So yeah, let's crack on. Aman Singh. Hey, right. So Aman Singh. We need good questions, Aman. Good, deep, dirty questions. Is creating backlinks with bookmarking sites safe to create?
I'd skip over that one, yeah.
Yeah. Don't bother. You're wasting your time. Is the answer for that. 10 years ago? Yeah, but not now. Chu Jack, can I ask if I have a range of niche products, should I put all of them in one website?
Are they niche related or they're all separate products? I mean, if they're all in the relative same category of product, you can put them on the same site, but obviously each page, should be its own separate entity, I would assume. That's how I would go about it.
Yeah, I think if they're related, then yes. If not, then segregate them out. Kashif is saying the voice of Chris is not clear. Have you done something with your microphone?
No. Here, let me take it out and see if.
It is kind of robotic-y. There's a bit of a tinge to it. I'm not sure if it's turned up too high so it can hear everything.
How about now? Does that sound a little bit better?
Yeah, much better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, what? It was fine for me, but obviously some other people may volume and whatnot. So someone's also saying hello, Chris. So
hey, hello.
Chris's fan club has arrived. Javid Hakimi, good to see you back, Javid. Hi, Craig and Chris. Are you guys seeing some of your clients ranking low with the recent Google updates? How's that impacting you?
We have noticed a lot of, not a lot. I mean, some are doing fine, some aren't. I'm only dealing with about 9 different clients. I don't have like 30 or 60 clients or anything. So I'm just noticing a fluctuation, but I'm 100% positive we'll get right back on track.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Another Chris will fix it. I think in general, from the update, what we always see is ranking fluctuations as Google are doing whatever the hell they do with these updates. And people tend to panic and make crazy ass changes and change pages and do all this mad stuff. Let it settle, understand what the update's about, and then take action. And I think from the gathering of what I can understand from other people, it's a link, it's some form of link update. I've heard a few different things, such as link velocity from Christoph Semper at Link Research Tools and a few other bits and bobs. But let it settle. Do not just dive in, sack your SEO off and start going with some other crazy guy that believes in technical SEO or whatever it's going to be. You have to get your SEO right across the board, not just links or jump to a guy who doesn't believe in links or any of that stuff. Just let it settle and then attack it with whatever. And hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we can maybe answer your question in more detail. We're still probably at a stage where we're like, yeah, we'll see what happens. Certainly that's what I do. I don't dive in and make wholesale changes. I'll assess anything, keep doing what I'm doing, and normally 9 times out of 10 it will recover and then it's just carry on as normal. But when Google are doing an update, there's fluctuations across the board. So yeah, do not panic.
Best advice. That's exactly what I said. Don't do anything. Let's sit and wait and see who's winning, and then we'll make our assessment from there.
Yeah. Jack, let's say if I have a niche for caps, shavers, and car accessories. So it doesn't. That was the guy earlier that was talking about the niche website. So your caps and shavers, of course, could go to one website. Car accessories, a separate website for that. For sure, would be the way I would do it. Kashif, yes, better voice, Chris. Kashif's also asking, you once said that a person ranked with copied content as well. Can you explain how? So I'm not sure what Kashif's referring to as such, or what talk or what place I was talking at. But what I do know is that I've got a friend, Chris, that ranks it's a fairly low competition bunch of keywords. It's a very niche market, and he basically used one of the mass page builders and literally slammed out 20,000 pages, which are probably 98.9% duplicate content. There is the 1.1% that is unique is maybe a map on the page, and the actual name of the area itself changes on the site. You ever seen something like that happening and doing really well for you?
I mean, generally we try to change out at least some of the text. I've never done 99.8% and had it win. Other than taking good content and maybe taking it over to some type of parasite platform, something that already contains the authority. I've had luck with that, but not generally, no. Direct copying, I've never been able to outrank the
other one. I mean, what I do want to highlight is this is a very, very niche market that this guy goes in. There is literally no competition. And I'm not saying he ranks for every single area, position one, but the more obscure areas, he dominates. So it can work in a very, very low niche market. The more competition there is, the harder it's going to be. And for me, I would always be looking to, as Chris does, balance it out with a lot of changes to the text. A much higher percentage than 0.2 for sure. So yeah, it's a method I've seen work, and I know people use mass page builders and all of that kind of stuff, and they have relative success, but it really has to be a very specific niche, to be honest.
Well, and two, that there could be other factors at play too. We don't know the authority of that gentleman's. I mean, I don't know the authority of the site. Like, if he's launching 20,000 pages, I would say that sure he's going to get lucky a couple times.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, no, it's a lot more than a couple of times. He literally fucking makes millions. Awesome. But yeah, as I say, very niche market, not many competitors. It's not a digital thing or anything. It's a offline business. Next one, the Asia Secret. When doing outreach for niche edits, do you request the webmaster to request Google Search Console indexing again? Does that help to speed up the effects of a link? Is it a good idea?
I generally do not ask. When we're doing outreach, I'm just generally happy to negotiate a fair price for me. And then I just let it go, because if I'm getting a niche edit, I'm only shooting for sites that have traffic already. So no, I don't ask them other than how much.
Yeah, I've never ever asked that question to anyone when getting a link. Can that be indexed? Of course, it probably would help if you got the index, the link index quicker. It's likely to pass value to your website quicker. But in terms of that happening, that link building about in bulk, and they're just going to naturally get indexed and pass value anyway. So I think you're probably going to irritate the webmaster to some degree by asking for that, because they're quite happy to place a link. But if you're going to be messing around asking for proof of it being submitted again and all that kind of stuff, your price per link's also going to shoot up. They're just going to, or they'll just ignore you. So you can send that link to your own indexing tool. by the way, Omega Indexer or something like that. So you can take that on the chin rather than relying on them to do it. Javed Hakimi, if you guys suggest to wait to see what happens with the current update, then for how long do you wait? Is it 1 or 2 months? How long do you normally wait, Chris?
I'm going to wait at least 30 days. I'm just waiting for, I want everything. I want the SERP to settle in the SERPs that we are in. And then I want to analyze exactly, I say who's winning, you know, and where were they and where are they now? And did they do anything different? And what are they doing that's different than me? I'll just wait as long as I have to wait for the SERP to settle, because I just pause payment. So they don't care, you know.
Not cool.
When I know, when I have an in to win again, then I'll start charging again. But until I know for sure, I'm not going to take a man's money.
Yeah. Oh, fair play. I would normally wait probably similar to Chris, 30 days, not much longer. I think in this game, you've got to take action. You can't just rest in your laurels. You've got to, if you've been fucked over by, some sloppy tactic, get the bloody thing fixed. So take action sooner rather than later, but it can take 30 days or so for things to settle down and all that. The first couple of weeks are absolutely horrendous with movement, and it hopefully should settle down after 3 or 4 weeks and take action from there. Don't wait too long. Colin Weston, a freelancer, claims he can use dead links on very high DR sites to get us backlinks. Is this possible? Target blog and anchor text are not relevant for our site. In this case, is it even worth doing? What's your opinion on that?
I would probably steer clear of that. Do I think that a site that's I would just steer clear. I'm not even going to get into that. I would steer clear of that. It depends. What do we mean by dead links on high DR sites? That could mean anything. Like if that's a broken link or a link that's just, dead for whatever you're calling dead on, some of the real top niche websites in your industry, of course, grab the fucker if it's possible. But you're saying it's not relevant for your site. So absolutely, go after that. If it's not relevant, I wouldn't bother too much. But if he's going to go after links on old blogger accounts that's got some dead links that he's maybe got access to or whatever, then absolutely not. It's just a shit show and a con, a scam. I can't reiterate enough how important traffic is when you're looking for a link on real websites that have real rankings that are relevant. That is it. Nothing else matters. Everything else, whatever juice that passes, I'm not sure. But I think future-proofing your website, making sure that you get that power passed to you is the way forward. So yes. Stefan Wildeboer, what is the best way to make an entity stack with Google Sites? And do you put links to your money website in there? I think there's a lot of different ways and techniques to use it. And I think you would point your properties to anything that you were trying to maybe get a boost or to buffer out. I use the stacks to buffer and to pass power through with cheaper links. That's the bottom line there. So yes, of course I would. Point them to the money site. Absolutely.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Google, with Google websites, they can pass a lot of power because it's Google's own entity. So it's shooting up your DR and everything. So why the hell not?
Not.
Ziga, for auction domains being repurposed for money sites, do you redirect the existing pages and subdomains to the home page, inner page, or rebuild the pages and post relevant content? What's your method for that, Chris?
I've done it both ways. I mean, when it depends on the client. It depends on what I'm working on. If I'm feeling lazy, I might go snatch up 10 domains, rebuild them to exactly the way they were, but then just insert links to the site. I've done it that way. And then I've literally just rebuilt everything. To be honest with you, I think taking the content that was already there, reposting it, and then just adding links, I think it's highly effective, but I like that. As far as future proofing, then, you know, maybe that could be, I don't know. I might steer clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I'm slightly different from you, Chris. I would say, I mean, I'm not saying that what you're doing is not effective, because it is effective. But what I tend to do is I want to make a PBN a money site, regardless. So I want that PBN to pay for itself, and of course, any of the old what I tend to do is repurpose it the same way as Chris does, and then I'll change stuff around and redirect all the kind of stuff, and then turn it into an affiliate website where possible. Not always possible, and then I would, if it's not always possible, then I will basically build a PBN exactly. You know, that's what Chris is doing. But the way I see it is that if I'm building a PBN, I want added value from that, and I want to make it a money website, and I'll give that to a project, to someone on my team. They can have the money from the affiliate project on there or whatever. You know, I can incentivize people, what that also does is just help that PBN become a bit more of a real website that's getting more content and someone somewhere cares about it. Whereas, you know, some other times people put up PBNs, they forget they've got them and all that kind of shit, and I've been guilty of that as well. So that's just my take on it. We've all got our own different quirks, though. But Chris's way can pass juice. I just feel that I want that website to grow and continue to retain the juice that it's got. So yeah, there you go.
You want as much money from here, from there.
Yeah, fingers and lots of different pies.
Makes sense. I'm about speed. Let's get it up, get it done, and
yeah. It really depends, you know. It depends on your resources and what you've got in the background as well, and stuff. You know, I want to incentivize the other people in the office and stuff, and you know, give them a bit of extra income and encouragement, and push them along the learning route of doing affiliate stuff and all that as well. So I can kind of do that while having the benefits of just having the PBN. So yeah, depends on each to their own. But anyway, Christina, what is the best tip to have a Wikipedia account and to post an article about your brand? Is it hard to sign up? Have you tried to have one?
I've tried that numerous times. I know that it's easy to get the account. As far as having the age and building the trust to be able to post in US markets, very, very difficult. However, I know that there's multiple resources out there. If you have a reason to have a wiki page, like maybe you've built an app, or maybe you need a good reason, you can spend $1,000 and get somebody to make you a page, but there has to be a reason. You have to have done something, at least one thing, you know, and not just, hey, I'm a great guy from Kansas City, you know. So I've tried. It doesn't work. I've tried.
Nah, listen, I'll tell you a story very quickly. A few years ago, I put on Upwork that I wanted a Wikipedia page about me. So I put on, you know, Craig Campbell wants a Wikipedia page, blah, 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 blah. Guys are like, yeah, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. And then they said, oh, no, there's not enough, you know, press releases and coverage around you. So I then eventually found a very good friend of mine who was a very experienced editor on Wikipedia. And he was almost certain he could get me this Wikipedia page. So he went away, built the page out, done all the kind of stuff. It took a few months to fuck around and do whatever he does. And someone at Wikipedia literally said, this page is not going live because that is commercial intent. That motherfucker tried to buy a Wikipedia page 2 years ago. These guys crawl the fucking web and everything. They look into everything before they'll give you a page. So it's not that easy. Anyone promising that stuff without you being semi profile or you know, have a load of PR around about you, it's going to be, and believe me, they look everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to jump onto a question on LinkedIn. I'm not going to be able to pull this one up on screen, but a guy is saying that he uses, so Isaac on LinkedIn is saying, I'm using a parameter for backlinks, minimum DA 50, and the spam score is less than 10%. Is this correct? What's a parameter with a backlink? I'm not sure what that is.
I mean, you can add parameters, but I don't understand why or what's the correlation to the link on the site and DA score. I don't. So I don't know what the, what you're trying to get at here.
Yeah, Isaac, if you could reword that question, we're not sure what the purpose of that is. Getting a backlink from a high DA, DR, whatever metric you use that's relevant to you is all you need. There's no need for parameters and stuff like that. I've never heard of anyone using a parameter with a backlink, which is why I was a bit miffed. Just in case you'd done some weird shit around that, Chris. But Kashif, how can I get SEO clients from the UK or US whilst living in Pakistan or any other Asian country? I get asked that a lot.
You have to be able to show that. I mean, what's your prior proof? Who have you worked with? What can you do? I mean, what people always want to see, do you know what you're talking about? What can you prove? So I mean, I would start with that for accruing clients. Then once you have that in place, I mean, you're in a big competition. Everybody in Pakistan and India wants to do SEO, and they're very talented. So it's just high competition, but I would get the proof first.
What proof is the key part. What I'd also say, Kashif, is, and I'm not generalizing and I'm not saying that everyone does this, but people from your country or similar are known to spam the shit out of people. The sales approach is buy a guest post, give me your order. There's no hand holding, there's no schmoozing, there's no trying to get to know someone, interact with people. It's just straight in, bang, and people here, certainly in the UK, and I know US is very similar, hate that sales approach. So I think you also have to revisit your sales approach because it is very, very ropey in the majority of cases. And I say that to, you guys do some good work, nice people and all that kind of stuff, but sending a one-line, greetings of the day, buy my guest post now is just not going to work. We get hundreds of these a day or thousands of these a day. You have to make yourself stand out. Proof, come on webinars, come on shows, be the king of, India, Pakistan or whatever. There's a lot of smart guys out there. We're the same. It's no different. We have to do shows and demonstrate knowledge and stuff like that. This is why we do this bloody show, to show people that we kind of kid on, we know what we're talking about.
Do it every day.
All day, every day. So yeah, and so hopefully that helps you, Kashif. And no offense with the greetings of the day stuff, but I think that stuff has to be cleaned up a little bit.
I love, but as a side note though, I love that for SEO guys like me. I love those guys. Here's what I can do. Here's the price when you want me to start. Love it. But as far as like the clients, like the 9 guys I have, they have my number. They're calling. I feel like, I mean, you're working with them to grow their business. I mean, we're like we're a team now, So I think you hit the nail on the head there. So that's all.
Yeah. Fraser Cairns, hi Craig, you may remember me from when you gave us training at Inspire. I do remember training at Inspire. I've been keeping up with your videos. Keep it up. I'm trying to see your face. I think I recognise your face, big tall guy with the glasses. Yes, I do remember you, Fraser. Sorry for leading away in. I just couldn't see your picture. It's small on here. Hope everyone in Inspire is all good and well. Francis Bangayan, hello. I have an article which is on the 11th position without any backlinks. Is Web 2.0 gigs, $30 gig at Black Hat World advisable?
So you have an article on your main money site in the 11th position, and you want to know if you should go and buy Web 2.0 gigs from Black Hat World on a money site? My advice would be absolutely not.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. No matter what position you're in, I don't believe that's something you would want to really go down the route of. Web 2.0's, Web 2.0's to some degree, you might want to build a few at the start to build up some DR. Not gigs from Fiverr or Black Hat World or anything like that. No gigs at all. Just don't get gigs. I think you'd be safer staying away from them, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I do have guys that do that as far as building out Web 2s as soon as we start a campaign, but they're branded or they're related to the the product or service. But as far as a campaign, I steer clear generally.
No, I'm the same.
Place though.
I think, yeah, I think a Web 2.0 to retain the brand name or whatever it's going to be, like Chris Palmer SEO dot Medium or whatever the hell it's going to be, then fine. But anything more than that, you're taking the absolute piss.
You're in that magical place. Position 11 is that magical place. That means you're only missing a few elements, a tweak of on page and a few more links. You're going to be on page 1. I mean, when you're at the top of page 2, you know that you're right there.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Do not mess it up now. Spend some money in some guest posts or something. Something like that that's actually going to work, rather than that kind of garbage. Puneet, good to see you. Puneet's been on quite a few things recently. What are the benefits of a Google News approved website? Do you see any benefit from that, Chris?
Traffic. I've bought them before, already pre-approved. They had content on them. I was setting those up for clients just as ways to push out our stuff with the content that was there. I think they're great for traffic. I think that's the key there. Traffic. That's the benefit.
I always look for traffic, anyway. It's one of my personal filters that I'm looking for when I'm getting a link. Puneet did ask the same question again, and then also asked, what's the best website for purchasing expired domains? Where are you getting your expired domain names, Chris?
I go right to expireddomains.net. But there's a gentleman where I generally buy them. He does all the work. He does everything for me. I'd rather just pay.
Is that gentleman like a drop catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, he's got a ton of domains, and he's already done all the work. I mean, I just have to say he basically an email. Here's the niche, and he'll say, okay, here's 5 that I have.
Yeah. So. I think what I would say is expireddomains.net. Go to GoDaddy auctions. You can look. There's a whole bunch of places you can go. The key part in what Chris is saying there is he's using a guy. Now, the guy who's doing what Chris wants is basically grabbing those domain names before they expire. So there's guys there that sit and, I'm not going to tell you how they do it because I don't even know myself exactly how they do it. But they're basically certainly in the UK, they ping nominate and they catch that shit before it, or when it's dropping, so that they get it. And, the thousands of other people out there don't get it. If you just go to expired domain names, you're going to be left with all the shit that no one else wants, because there's these guys that Chris is talking about that are sitting there sucking up all the good stuff and then giving them out to guys like Chris, which is why Chris is in so Chris has got the good shopping list. He knows where to go. He ain't, sitting there drop catching and doing all the sophisticated stuff there. But there are guys out there who do that. So look for a drop catcher, ask around in forums and stuff like that. There's a couple of drop catchers. There's a guy called Callan on Facebook. He's from Bulgaria. Callan, I think his website is something like, I'll come back to me. If not, shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll put you in touch with Callan. But there's loads of these guys all over the world. Callan's
too. You could talk to Patrick. He might help you out.
Yeah, Patrick as well is another. There's tons of guys all out there. So a ton of guys that basically hold these domain names, and that is their business. And there's no point in small fries like us trying to get domain names before them, because they'll
just pay shit on you.
Yeah, they'll shit on you from a great height. You've no chance. Cheers, Faizan. I'm doing amazing work. Francis Bangayan. I have 20 article URLs that are on 15th, 8th average positions. That means I have ordered $30 times 20 from Black Hat World. Right, we'll skip on that one. I don't know what you're trying to ask there, but you're buying. Chris, so it's from Christina. Chris, can you tell us one good backlink technique that you use that's effective, that's not been mentioned before?
I share 85% of my best stuff on my channel. I mean, right now, what I really, really like is .gov.edus and building tiers with those. That's what I like right now as far as effective and powerful. That's what I like. Other than, your PBNs and stuff, something you could just go out and do. I like that approach very much so.
Yeah. I don't think there is any hidden secret link building techniques anymore. It's not like, people are telling you outreach, guest post, niche edits, 301s, PBNs, whatever, Web 2.0s, they're all pretty well known in the
and people know when you're doing outreach now, like I would say everybody that has a website knows what a link is now. It's not like it used to be. Like when I first started with my father, like everybody knows now and everybody wants cash. Like it's not like it was. So that's it. Everybody knows now.
I'm going to answer the question. The guy on LinkedIn got back to me, Isaac. So Isaac was basically looking to understand which tool is best to monitor the quality of a backlink, like SEMrush, Ahrefs, DR, DA, stuff like that. What would your advice for that be, Chris?
I mean, you have to look at trust, I love SEMrush, but I also like Majestic. I like Ahrefs. I mean, it's completely up to you, but I'd say those three are going to be it. As far as well-known, I mean, DA and PA is well-known, but it's about trust. So who do you trust? That's, they're all pulling the same stuff, really. Who's got the biggest database and who do you trust? So we know who has the biggest database. We know it's Ahrefs and Majestic. So then you have to decide, who do I trust? So that's it.
Also, don't obsess over those metrics. They are third-party metrics. Look for the other things like traffic and whatnot, not DR or DA or TF and CF or whatever you're looking at. What is a good link? Relevance, getting traffic, has that website get rankings would be the first thing. Obviously, the other metrics are a guide as to how powerful that website is, but there's nothing wrong with taking something that's maybe semi-powerful that may grow into a monster in a year's time. So don't exclude stuff based on those DR metrics either, because people do work hard and they can grow these things very, very quickly. So also just bear that in mind as well, because there's young, hungry, new websites out there that you can get a link on that may grow into one of the most powerful websites out there in a few years' time.
Absolutely.
So Galib, which is the best tool for contacting journalists for pitching PR? Do you do anything like that, Chris?
I don't use tools. Generally, when I'm trying to build outreach for good links, I go and contact the people who can get posts on those sites. And when I get the proof back, I can see who's actually posting, and then I go out and reach out.
Yeah.
So that's, as far as tools, I'm a very simple guy. And I don't want to give up my money.
No, tools cost a lot of money. You do have tools out there like Gorkana and things like that, but you will need to pay significant amounts of money for access to that level of data, and it's not cheap. But you can look at them or do a Google search. I'm sure there's other ones out there. I just know that Gorkana, Haro is another one where you can,
Oh, what a pain!
Not my cup of tea. I would normally just pay someone to do that shit for me. But yeah, there are tools and ways of trying to get in touch with journalists using those two. Those are ones that I've heard of. Whether they're the best in the market or not, I'm not a PR expert though. So yeah.
I mean, your niche. Look at your competitors' backlinks. Go to where those links are. Who is the editor? Who published it? Reach out to them. I mean, people want. If you got cash, you'll get what you want.
Exactly. Anything you want. Sashi, hey, good to see you, bud. Jules or Jules, do you think KD on Ahrefs is somewhat accurate?
I'm sure it is. I mean, I As far as a tool is concerned, I mean, I would assume that their data is going to be accurate. You know, I'm not a tool builder. So I say yes.
Yeah, I think what you have to put in your head when you're thinking about these tools is they can't put out jack shit information as such. Now, some of them might not be wholly accurate, but these scores are based on volume, and they're taking into account a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's a calculation, which is obviously not always going to be 100% accurate as such. But again, it's a great guide as to whether something's exceptionally competitive or not. Whether it's set in stone, they may get it slightly wrong now and again. Either way, in a good or a bad way. So they are working with large sets of data, though, and they're paying millions and millions and millions of pounds for that data. So it's certainly going to be a lot more accurate than, your guesswork, so to speak, or my guesswork or whatever. So so it's certainly, I can look at something and go, well, that potentially, some paving guy in some shitty town in Scotland is going to be fairly easy, fairly shit, and all that kind of stuff. Who's to say every paving guy's not doing top level SEO there? I don't know. I'm just guessing, by sheer ignorance, whereas they are using data, volume, rankings, what the competition are doing and stuff. So yeah, it's fairly accurate in my opinion as well. Mustafa Hussein, Google Search and Google Keyword Planner and Google AdWords, are these tools enough for keyword research thing in comparison to Ahrefs? Oh man. Chris, what you saying?
I think you can make it work, but the reason why these tools are available is it makes your life so much easier. It's, again, what's your time worth? You can use these tools, but I think using a paid tool that's for SEO is going to save you a lot of time and headache.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat as Chris. You can make them work for you, and we all probably have used these to some degree, and starting out or whatever, where we've not had enough budget to do things. And yeah, they can work to some degree, but I think if you want speed, quick, pace, in some form of accuracy, then.
And if you can't afford it, I mean, you can always, until you can afford it, there's group buys out there. So, or you and 4 or 5 of your friends could maybe get together and create your own group buy. So that way you're not sharing your data with, 100 other people. So
yeah, there's always an option. You just got to root around, see the best option for you and your budget and all that stuff. Guys, we still do have 15 minutes left. Questions in the live chat, please. Do also subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subscribers over the next few days.
Yes.
So it's
and your views are going crazy, Craig. I was watching you on the vidIQ. I was like me against you. I was like, oh my god, this guy's blowing up. That's awesome.
So I've also got a competition coming up after I hit 30,000. So after 30,000, I'll just give this secret away while we're waiting on some more questions. Elias from SEO Autopilot is going to allow me to give away a free lifetime license to his tool for someone in the next batch of 10,000 subscribers. So there's going to be a lucky winner. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and everything. There's going to be prizes and everything to encourage people. But yeah,
that's a hell of a gift.
Yeah, it's a decent tool,
I think. Right? That's like $1,000 for that tool.
Yeah, it's $1,000 for that, 997. So that is going to be my next giveaway, awesome. Rather than
it's got the EDU links, it's got the authority links, it's got all kinds of. I looked at it, but I was like, oh man, gee, man, whoa.
It's got a monthly subscription, but what I'm doing just now with SEO Autopilot is good, and obviously what I can do is also smash Web 2.0s to videos and all that shit as well, and yeah, it's working well. But we'll crack on with the next bunch of questions. Just make sure you guys. But anyway, Placer Energy. How well does RankerX work for tier 2 links? Have you tested it? You use that, don't you, Chris?
I really like RankerX. I mean, I really like it a lot. But as far as budget to usability, you may even want to look at GSA. I mean, it's still semi-effective in a way, especially for the tiers. So Ranker X is great, but it's a little bit more expensive than the $100 investment. So yeah.
How much does Ranker X cost at the moment?
I the last time I looked at it was like $700, I believe. I could be completely wrong. Don't quote me on that. I bought that a long time ago.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's not one that I think I've tried it a few years ago and didn't really understand. You know what it's like. You try these tools and some interfaces you like, some you don't, and didn't like its interface at the time and moved on to something else. But
oh no, it's $1,000. It's 1,000.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
A lot of people use it, and a lot of people. I think with any of these tools, it's not whether the tool works; it's how you use it. If you think you're going to press start on a tool and it's going to do all your work for you, you're on to plums. There's more sophistication to that. You need to scrape your own lists and fuck about with the settings and do a lot of stuff in the background, which is going to take you away from doing what everyone else is doing, and that is the key part. Doing something that other guys are not. So yeah, it's sadly you've got to go to those lengths now. It's not a case of push start and on we go. But there you go. More questions, guys, or I'm going to start asking Chris questions. In fact, I'll just start asking questions. The questions are drying up weirdly, which is not always a good sign. But put questions in there. But Chris, in terms of some of the stuff that you're doing on a personal level, what type of you do? Your client stuff. You do what other stuff are you doing? Are you doing lead gen and stuff like that?
I do a little bit of lead gen, but the lead gen is for one specific company for one specific niche, and
Right.
that's in I mean, that's my bread and butter. That's the ongoing forever,
Yeah. No, I was curious to know because obviously people who watch these kind of webinars and stuff, they're sitting in agencies, they fucking hate life, and they always want to know, what the hell do you do to make money, Chris? And I know you'll do some clients, you'll do a bit of lead gen, you'll do a bit of this and a bit of that, obviously to diversify your income streams. But if someone was sitting out there saying, Chris, I'm stuck in an agency and I fucking hate clients, what would you say? Because you've probably tried everything in this industry. What would you say is the best way of going? Is it affiliate? Is it lead gen or something else?
I mean, I'm dabbling more with the affiliate stuff as of, recently, more and more, because I've tried lots of different tactics. As far as I think I really like lead gen, because once you can get this system down, and depending on the industry, if you're getting, $200 a show, let's say, and say like a timeshare industry, which is hard right now, but, that really adds up, I like lead gen. I mean, if you hate clients, then I would really start to think about how can I take that out of the equation or get somebody that can handle it for you.
Yeah. Interesting. I just like to know for personal use as well what you guys what goes through your brain, because you're like me, probably don't give too much away in terms of what you're trying out, but it's always good to try out different stuff. And
I mean, I'm right now I'm primarily working on I have a small group of friends, and we've been doing the tests. And as that's became more popular and everybody runs tests as SEOs, I've realized that, hey, that's a blue ocean. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe I can offer this type of service to other people. We can try out, do you have a technique you want to try? I'll try it for you. You want me to try out a backlink service? You want to know a strategy? So I'm leaning towards that. And then right now, like I have it coming in the mail. I'm setting up a hub. It's a 100-port GSM hub. And I have a guy that's working on the Android emulator. And it's just a matter of, can we get it to spoof for a location while we're running all of the sims at the same time, which is the question.
yeah.
So That's what I'm working on. It's primarily local, and then myself, I like to do affiliate to try to get some money in, and then the bread and butter is sending out the postcards and running G ads for travel clubs and timeshares. That's how I make my money.
Interesting.
Now you know everything.
Hey,
I'm an open book, man.
We have some more questions. Have you noticed any local map pack rankings after this most recent update in 2020? Can I please have an answer from each of you? Thanks.
I have noticed other people, there has been a fluctuation. Now, with that being said, a lot of the stuff that I've been playing with lately has been in the GMB and map stuff. And a lot of the junk, if that's what you want to call it, that I was putting out to test is starting to come to fruition. So I'm thinking whatever was going on, it has been settled, and that's that.
Yeah, I think if you want an answer from me, there is fluctuation again. I've had a few people who've just dropped off a cliff. Well, not me personally, because I don't do client work, but I've had a few people approach me saying the GMBs are falling away and all that kind of shit. Again, is it part of the update? Is it not? Is there something else in play? You know, the update shouldn't really be correlated with the map pack as such, because the map pack, as far as I'm led to believe, the update, as far as I'm led to believe, is focused around links, and links don't really have too much of an impact on the map pack. So I would say that there's probably, something else there. I'm not sure. Another update from Google or whatever it's going to be. Give it a few more weeks to settle down, and then we'll be able to answer more appropriately, because everyone shits all over the place just now, and it's quite hard to figure that out just at this stage. Francis, what's the best SEO? SEO Autopilot, Money Robot, Scraper? I've not heard of Scraper, or whatever that is. It could be Scrapebox, I'm not sure. I just need backlinks. It's too slow to rank on guest posts. I've done lots of guest posts. Outreach expensive. Any cheap options?
Cheap is very relative. And I think that Craig is going to agree that SEO Autopilot is probably the way to go at the moment. So, right?
I would agree. It's just a great tool that I'll tell you the story behind SEO Autopilot. The guy behind SEO Autopilot used to use Money Robot all the time. He loved it. He just ranked websites with it. But the support and some of the suggestions he wanted Money Robot to implement, they wouldn't do. So he went and just built his fucking own. So in my opinion, a guy who is an SEO, it's a tool built by SEOs to do things that he wanted to do. Whereas Money Robots, I'm not going to criticize it because I've used it for many years, and it is and was a great tool. Just in my experience, I like to work with guys who understand SEO, who make tools to do specific things. An SEO Autopilot for me is a much better, up-to-date, modern thing going forward in terms of what Money Robot is. And that's the kind of guys I want to jump on. There's these guys, Chris, there's guys out there, SEO guys, who are making tools every day of the week for CTR, for just even email sequences. Guys are fucking crazy out there. And I would rather jump on an SEO guy's tool 100%, and that's why I lean towards SEO Autopilot. Money Robot, you can still get great results from it. I'm not going to dismiss it. And Scraper, I've not heard of that one, but if you mean Scrapebox is not a great tool, but it's a scraper rather than what these tools do, so it doesn't do the same thing. Would you agree with that, Chris?
I agree. I love Scrapebox. I have it, but I don't use it for link building by any stretch of imagination.
I more use it for harassing people.
Exactly.
Making the contact form, or scraping up some lists or whatever it may be. So Scrapebox, I've got a Scrapebox tutorial on my website if you're ever looking to understand how to work it properly. But yeah, so there you go. Gauki, how do you automate CTR any robot software that you would recommend? Any suggestions that you're using, Chris?
See, the thing with the bots is that there's no mouse movement. I think that they're tracking mouse movement. I've sat and I've watched the long story short is this. The CTR bots that I've played with that are mass market, you'll see maybe a fluctuation or things will work, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm on to something. But then it doesn't. So as far as that's concerned, I mean, I can't put my name. I couldn't recommend any. I've played with them all. I know that somebody in the Black Hat community has one. I don't know if it's still for sale. I heard great things, but I wasn't able to get one of them to test it out. So I would steer clear at this present moment until maybe somebody comes up with something a lot more advanced. I think that the way things are leaning, as far as CTR manipulation is concerned, I'm thinking that mobile might be the way to go. And if we could get a group of guys, that would be really cool if we could have phones in all of the areas and get clones of all the phones, right? And then it could be one person that manipulates it.
Yeah.
We would have a winning CTR bot. But until then, I highly doubt it.
Well, I've joined the Holly Starks thing. I had Holly on last week. I think you were there in the live. You were there in the chat.
Yeah, I had to check it out.
I sell a bunch of phones to do some shit as well. So I have also seen a tool. Now, I'm not suggesting it's good, bad, or indifferent, so do not take my advice on it 100%. There's a website called site-pop.co.uk, and you need to buy a bunch of Androids, plug them in, and do some shit on there on a mobile device. I think it's a fairly new tool. I'm not sure how great it is, but a good friend of mine's currently testing it, and he has about 40 phones running on it, and has seen some great results from that. So you have a look at that website, site-pop.co.uk. That's something that I've got a friend that's doing, testing that one out just now. But you have to buy a whole bunch of fucking.
I don't think the phones aren't necessary. I mean, each phone has its own ID, but when you launch an emulator, the emulator has its own IP and it has its own fingerprint, basically.
Yeah.
So having a physical phone isn't necessary. Each instance of in any case, I don't want to get into that, but
yeah, and
playing with is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and they're basically attaching that to the one Wi-Fi account, and I'm not sure if that leaves a footprint or not.
Well, mobile IPs change so consistently that they could. It's not going to leave a footprint as far as the IP is concerned.
Yeah,
the device has its own, like an IMEI, we'll say.
Yeah,
so launching virtual instances, right? Emulations, they all have their own, and as you launch them, they get their own basically social security number, an IMEI, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really what we're really getting into is how can we do it? And then we were looking at, okay, I found a guy that can clone the phones, right? And then you have one phone that is acting on all the phones, but how do you get a group of 1,000 guys to let us do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I think that in the near future, the CTR and everything is going to catch up, but then by then Google will figure it all out,
Yeah. Well, if they can, if you guys are smart enough to have guys all over the place, with that, then yeah, I don't know. I love CTR and all that shit, but yeah, it's hard to get a good solution for it right now, which is why I use kind of paid sources of CTR or trying to force that kind of stuff. There is no great bots out there just now for it, or I'd be all over it like a bloody rash. But as you say, Chris, there's guys out there always making shit and trying stuff. So fingers crossed someone comes up with something in the near future, because I'll be all in on it, helping out. We are out of time nearly, but I'm just going to get a couple of quick questions. So this is from Teresa. Which type of link structure should I use? I'm told I should do a reverse silo. Where do I send backlinks? Homepage or service pages?
I mean, generally, when we're building out right? I send my most powerful links to the pillar content, the best ranking content, 1 or 2 very powerful links. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm pushing links, I like to push them to the internal pages. That's me. Pages that I don't care about. If I end up getting in trouble, I could just kill that page, you see, because it's page by page is how penalties are passed. So generally, if I'm building a lot of links and I just juice up one page, and then that way, if I run into trouble, who cares? I'll just push the page off and switch the links.
Interesting.
Sorry, Craig. I see. Like
Jordan Pierce is put in here, interestingly, on the CTR bot. And Jordan is someone I'm a big fan of. He's a great guy who does some real SEO shit. He knows how to do it, but the infrastructure is like 50 grand. So Jordan's one of those guys, when they go to manipulate something, they manipulate they manipulate it. Absolute animals, and with the greatest respect when I say that. But yeah, I'm sure, if you had budgets like that, you could probably do something quite healthy. But yeah, sadly, not many people have got that 50k budget. But good to see you here, Jordan. We need to get you on a show one day as well. Do you know Jordan, Chris?
No, I don't know him.
Yeah.
I've seen him on like Josh's channel talking like a year ago or whatnot, but I don't know him.
Top man, Jordan. Good to see you, buddy. One last one, Colin Weston. Per my question earlier, I will search dead links from an old article and then 301 redirect that link to your website. We register those dead links, then create a server, then redirect it. Is this bullshit? Yes. So what the guys are basically doing is finding a bunch of broken links on websites that are no longer live. And basically, if you say yes, they'll go and buy it with your money and make a healthy profit from it. Now, you could basically do that yourself. Just go to Ahrefs, find some broken links or whatever it's going to be, and then go and buy the expired domain name yourself. Fuck it, put it on a server and redirect it to you. But it's a kind of ropey tactic, It's if the main KPI here is a dead link rather than a dead link from a DR50 website that's totally relevant, then it's all wrong. So there's a bit more to it. This is no different from doing what Chris does, building a PBN or doing a 301 redirect as such. However, he's doing it the right way. This guy's trying to. The way it's been worded is, here's some dead links that I can potentially get for you, which he can get for £10 a website or £10 a domain name, and charge you God knows what for it, £300 a link. So good business for him, but it's BS for you, unless it's done properly. So.
And I've tested that too. Like those guys that do the 301 redirects from like Huffington Post and Forbes and everything. I did a test and just sent it to a page to see. Nothing. It showed up, but there was nothing. I just tested it and then I released it on the channel. People were asking me, hey, do these work? And I was like, I don't know. I'll go buy it. It was $40. I was like, I didn't want to spend it, but I figured, why not? Because I knew it wasn't going to work.
Colin said the DR is 80. So would that change things in your opinion?
No, it wouldn't. No, not at all.
So don't just go after DR, Colin. Make sure that relevance is there. Good DR, but make sure the relevance is there. Probably cut the middleman out and do it yourself, to be honest. It's better money spent. Unless this guy's doing this for buck she and you can give him a bit more direction in terms of relevance, then it could.
Or if it's cheap, 10, 20, 30, $40, try it. If it works, hooray for you. Keep it to the side, But I would assume that it's probably you're going to run into an issue.
But sadly, we are out of time again. It's been another hour that has flown in. I just feel as if we're getting warmed up again.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Kicking in. We could probably talk for fucking 10 hours, to be honest, if time allowed. But
about SEO.
Yeah. Sadly, we are out of time. Are you up for another one, Chris?
Always. I mean, ever since I got with you, brother, my growth has been so. I want to thank you. It's been amazing. 30, 40 subs, and they're like, "Hey, I saw you talking to Craig." I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." So I want to thank you. Actually, anytime you need me, I'll be here.
No worries. Well, same time next week, guys. Make sure you do come back with different questions. We still are not testing, the knowledge that we have here in any way. These are fairly basic. So go deeper, dirtier, badder. Do some research and come back next week, same time, and we will hopefully be as open as we can and give you some good tips.
Just no negative and no illegal. Other than that, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
And also, guys, thank you for all the subscriptions. Chris Palmer SEO, search for it in YouTube. Chris does have his own channel and regularly, if not on a daily basis, also churns out some amazing videos, which sadly compete with mine in a lot of cases. But why not have our two lovely faces in front of you? As I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and Chris,
you got me with this one though. Black Hat SEO in the front of the title, and then put the name. So you're gonna grab it this time.
Yeah, we will. I'm just fucking about to see, what different things work and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still learning YouTube, but
me too.
Chris does have a YouTube as well. Great resource, and get over to his channel and subscribe as well.
Awesome.
And we will see you guys next week again.
Thank you. Amazing.
It's been a pleasure as always.
See you then. Oh, hey, are you still live or no?
Yeah.